Hello, everybody. This is Tanya Costa of Empowered Journeys, and I'm a life coach who has a multimodal practice who really helps create change that lasts. So, anyway, I just want to talk about a topic today called Perception is Projection. And this term was actually coined by the famous psychologist Carl Jung. And I'm going to approach this from two different angles. One angle is the information that we see and take in and actually perceive or not perceive. And then actually going the other way, how we perceive something or a situation or a circumstance actually maps the way we're thinking or filtering or even perceiving information. So the basic idea goes like this. There is a huge rate of information that we just take in everywhere we go. So I think it's actually even been, measured to be somewhere around 11 million bits per second of information coming in. And yet the kind of the speed of our own mind to kind of take it all in is about 133, 34 bits per second. So there's a huge disparity in both of those numbers, obviously. So the idea is that what does our mind do? To handle that disparity, what it will do, it will generalize, it can distort, or it can just plain out delete information. So in my case, I live here in Phoenix, Arizona. I moved here 2 years ago, and I do really enjoy it. Although, yes, hot and everything like that. Okay, so Phoenix, there's parts of Phoenix look very industrial. And so I was driving up and down a major thoroughfare here in Phoenix called 7th Street. And yet another side of Phoenix is that there's artwork all over the place. So I was driving up and down this major street all the time, and just how my mind was generalizing it is I was just seeing it as an industrial area, that just had coffee shops, few restaurants, gas stations, repair shops, stuff like that. Kind of standard fare. Kind of looked a little dull, to be honest. So I was just used to driving up and down the street, and there was something that I was missing. And I've been driving past it all this time and not seeing it, not perceiving it. Why? Because my own mind was generalizing and or deleting stuff that was coming in to me. So today I actually drove, the same route that I always drive, and then I actually saw this beautiful mural of my favorite 70s artist, which is David Bowie. 70s, 80s, yes. And somebody had done a wonderful mural of David Bowie, and I'd been missing it all this time. So anyway, I'm gonna show you a video of the mural next, and then afterward, just some comments. So the comments was, the general principle here was my mind was generalizing and deleting this information about this city scene, about this, street in Phoenix. So the funny thing though is when we change our perceptions, or we change the way we filter in information, we can see stuff from a very fresh and new perspective. And I'll talk about that on the other side of this clip. Thank you. Hi everybody, this is Tanya Costa. I'm here at a studio on 7th Street in Phoenix. And one of the things I absolutely love about Phoenix is the artwork that's all over the place. So obviously this is, I'll show you the studio just to pay homage, but actually this artwork is on somebody's, it's on the backyard of somebody's house. And it's all about David Bowie, one of my favorites. Isn't this cool? I mean, check that out. Oh my gosh, it's all from his different albums. So if you see the video and you're a David Bowie fan, name the album each picture goes with. Because I can think of some, but I don't want to give them away. So what a cool area to live. Anyway, I'll have more reels up soon. Thank you. Bye-bye. So this is, it's an interesting concept. So the first part is about how we take in so much information, and to handle that, the amount of information is huge, 11 million bits per second. What we process with our conscious mind, 134 bits per second. So we generalize, distort, and or delete much of the information that's coming in. Therefore, that affects what we see or what we don't see, what we perceive or what we don't perceive. Okay, so likewise, this happens in the other way. Like, we see things in the world based on our internal mappings. So, for an instance, we could see something as beautiful. We could just see something as ugly and industrial. That's kind of how I was seeing the street. It's an ugly and industrial street. Therefore, that's how I was perceiving it. But really, that's how my mind was working. So really, and if I get around, do I have some experience about ugly? Do I have an experience around industrial? And so if I clean up the way I perceive things, guess what? I can see new stuff that I haven't seen before. So as an open question, maybe we can take a second. What are people, circumstances, situations that we're perceiving in our life that is really, maybe it's causing us angst, maybe it's causing us grief, maybe it's something we don't want to deal with. But as we see that circumstance, as we see that situation or person, we can realize that's based off of our life experience of how we choose to perceive things. So the internal mapping of our brain is being, thrust out into the world. And we're perceiving these things. I perceived all of Phoenix as industrial and kind of ugly. It's not true. Phoenix is beautiful. It just has a different beauty than where I'm from. So anyway, I just want to ask you, and maybe you can put it in the chat or the comments or whatever, where in your life are you not seeing something about yourself that you need to see? Where in your life are you being presented with people or problems that are challenging the way you're your perceptions, your thoughts, and your conclusions? And where could you have different perceptions, thoughts, and conclusions? And so a lot of what we do in coaching and what I do with a multimodal approach to create change that lasts is really to change those perceptions. And when we change that, what do? We alter our perceptions, we alter the actions, the conclusions, the emotions, and ultimately, maybe something we perceived as negative isn't negative at all. Actually, we can see, wow, maybe because I saw this in a different way, it could have been the best thing that happened to me ever. So anyway, please put it in chat. I'd love to hear your experiences, and thank you for listening.